Right, off you go.
Huh? Go to the east. I didn't mean that.
No, it's just showing you the rest of what's in the room.
Wooden chest, Gandalf. Gandalf is carrying a curious map. Thorin, Gandalf gives the curious map to you. Okay. Map. What? Okay. Chest. What? Open chest. You open the wooden chest, Gandalf opens the round green. What?
Thorin says hurry up. What?
What's in the chest?
Maybe you should look in the chest.
Look in the chest. Look.
Oh dear, pressure.
Look in chest. I do not know the words. Well, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? Look chest. I'm really trying. Open door.
Open
door? Shit, the door is open.
Oh.
I knew what I was talking about. The door is open. Go through. It's not going to know through, is it? Go door. Go door. Gloomy empty land, dreary hills ahead. Should have stayed in the room. Go. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Wait for it to draw the graphics in. There we go.
Go. To the west there is the round green door. Visible exits are east, northeast. You see Gandalf. Gandalf's taking the map back off me again that he just gave me.
And you didn't even look at it. It was your first mistake, mate.
Thorin enters. Okay.
What was in the chest?
I don't know. We'll go back in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Go door. Go door.
Go do.
Oh my god.
Do.
Go space do or. Right, good. Here we go.
Right, get in that chest. We'll no end in this segment. We'll no end. We'll no end in this segment until we know what's in the chest.
Open chest. Chest is
Forget?
open.
Did you forget it was open?
Okay. Look chest.
You're in a comfortable tunnel at all, Ryan. What about examine?
Why would they have examine instead of look? Oh, here we go.
Somebody closed the door.
Right, okay, good.
They've just went, fuck us, we'll go without them.
Examine chest.
Examine chest.
Fuck.
Examine my chest, doctor.
Examine. Here we go. Examine. Fuck me.
What?
You examine the wooden chest. You see the wooden chest.
Yeah. What do you expect
Thorin
to see when
waits.
you examine a chest?
Inside? No.
In a day.
Oh god. And what?
What? Ryan, what?
Wariowell, get it together. I don't like that as much as WarioWare, like get a grip of yourself or something. I'm going to call it WarioWare, get a grip of yourself. It is new on the Nintendo Switch, and you expect it to be fun, a new WarioWare game. I don't know what takes them so long to make these things. You expect them to be fun, but you don't expect them to be as lush as this is. Look at it, look how lush it is. It's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon, and the music's brilliant. And you're going to have a very good time. That's the review. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining me. Alright, I'll tell you more stuff. There's loads of characters this time that you can play as in this version of WarioWare, which you couldn't do before in the other WarioWares, obviously. Most people have been gushing about these other characters and how complimentary they are to the game. I didn't think they did a particularly good job of making all of the characters essential to play. I'm not afraid to tell you that I had my favourites. And I stuck to my favourites. It is just the case that some of the characters are more versatile than other ones. Some of them bounce about all the time and you can't stop them bouncing about, and that's really annoying. Other ones like this one, far more easy to control and, as I say, more versatile, as opposed to this wee bonkers lad who doesn't stop moving from left to right all the time, which is a wee bit inconvenient, you know what I mean? When you're working to a very, very tight deadline, as you often are when you're looking at these bonkers mini-games. Praise the handsome man. Praise him. Praise the handsome man. Some time limit you've got in this one. Perfect tea time. The Nintendo Classics selection of minigames is probably my favourite, and it'll probably be your favourite as well. But there's absolutely loads and loads to love about this game. I really enjoyed the one player game. It's no the main selling point as you would expect. You're maybe getting about 90 minutes to 2 hours out of the one player game. Swim, beautiful arse on that swimmer there. Lovely stuff. As I say, one player isn't the main selling point of the game, but it is something that you will want to play through if you want to get a good introduction to who the characters are and how you control them properly before you embark on the multiplayer games, which is the meat of your Wariowells, isn't it? There's Animal Crossing there. You've heard of Animal Crossing, haven't you? I mostly played the multiplayer with my girlfriend, who doesn't know anything about video games and was absolutely baffled by what was going on. And she was at her most baffled when we were playing Pucker Up, because you play a hockey game and then it moves on to a mini game, but you can disrupt the mini game by being a total pain in the arse. It's mental and it's infuriating and it's really cracking. I won. Ryan won. Yeah, so it's just a really lush package with loads of stuff going on. I don't really... Actually, my girlfriend was player 2 here, and I wasn't very happy with the fact that you can overwrite my previous gains. I didn't think that was very fair, to be honest. I thought that was a load of nonsense, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind some silly nonsense, but I think that was a wee bit too far with the silly nonsense. If you win more games than your opponent, then you should be the winner, I think. You shouldn't get to overwrite your... Anyway, this WarioWare game is probably the best WarioWare game, which is really saying something because they've all been really good. And it's also saying something that it's the best WarioWare game and it doesn't do the things that you would assume that a Switch game probably would have to do, like motion controls and touchscreen stuff. It doesn't faff around with any of that, it just kind of keeps it nice and simple and almost kind of old school feeling. Another thing that's old school feeling about it is that there isn't much in the way of online stuff, which is no surprise really with Nintendo. You would think that they would at least want to have a flirtation with online play, but they've not even attempted it. This robot is easily my favourite character, by the way. Nam 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 nam. Here he is. Here he comes. Here he comes. There he is. Hey! Do you want to know what the plot is to this WarioWare game? That sounded weird even saying that out loud. Do you want to know the plot to this WarioWare game? Well, the plot to this WarioWare game is that I hated this level, by the way, this beat-em-up level. It just seemed endless and pointless. I mean, I say endless, I definitely died because it was shite after it, obviously, but it just was nowhere near as fun as the micro games. The plot in the one player is that Wario has made a video game, and the video game has some bugs in it. So he has to go from level to level, introducing the different characters and clearing the bugs on the levels as he goes. It's a wee bit thin, but that's not why you're playing the game. You're playing the game to have all these wee micro bursts of fun and sunlight projected into your face. It's beautifully put together and really charming. Here's the credits screen that you can look at, and you can pick any character you want to smash all their names to bits. It's a very charming game. I don't really give two shits about leveling up, and I don't really give two shits about custom characters, and I don't give two shits about character art and stuff like that. But that doesn't matter because there's so much in the game. There's hundreds of micro games. The characters are brilliant, even though they're not particularly well balanced. That's Ashley. She's probably the most powerful character in the game. It's just brilliant fun. You should definitely get it because it will definitely cheer you up. Do you think I'm wrong? Or do you think I'm lying to you? Do you think that it won't cheer you up? Look at this Doug's face.
Drink up.
Peggy 12.
For 300 years, Rena has ruled over Dana. Alphen is a man with no past who deeply desires to free Dana from slavery. Shion is a woman struggling against a curse her noble Renan heritage cannot remove. Together, they decide to join forces and challenge their fates. Calaglia. It's always interesting, I think, to go back and look at promotional footage and promotional teaser trailers and all that kind of stuff once you've actually played the game, once the game's been released. This fella here, Alphen, he starts the game as a guy called Iron Mask, because he wears this mad iron mask on his head. Tales of Arise is a Japanese RPG which has a lot of the trappings of your traditional Japanese RPG. You're never going to fucking mistake this for a football game, you know what I mean? It's like a Japanese RPG. And also, it has a lot of the hallmarks of the Tales series. The reason why I love the Tales series so much is because of the fighting. The battles are always so good. in previous Tales games there would be cooperative multiplayer battling as well. You don't get that in this game. That's a shame that that's not there, because I actually would have used it, I think. But I'm glad to say that the one thing that Tales of Arise gets right for the get-go is the combat. The combat starts exciting and gets even better as you learn more moves, as you start to get brave enough to use other characters in battle instead of sticking with your main guy. And it's fast-paced, and there's even like kind of wee elements to it that make it feel like an action game, like the dodging and stuff like that. You get a wee bonus for dodging, which allows you to bring in a stronger attack and stuff, and that's sort of to do with timing, and it's stuff that doesn't really feel necessarily traditional JRPG style. It's a much more action game based, and in fact I have seen some people recommending changing some controls, changing some button settings and stuff like that to make it feel even more like an arcade game, but an arcade action game. But I want it to be an RPG, so I'm happy with how it plays. The story in Tales of Arise is brilliant. It's about slavery, pretty much. It's about this race of people that have another race of people under the cosh, under the cudgel, in chains. And so the story can get a bit heavy in places. Like all the best JRPG games, the story gets a bit heavy in places, but the characters, man, there's just something about Tales games, and it's really exemplified by Tales of Arise, that's really fantastic about how they spend so much time making the characters work, making the characters' stories interesting, but also making the relationship between the characters so strong. Tales of Arise, you get so many opportunities to press R1 on your controller, which will open up a bit of dialogue between your characters. Even when you go to your camp at night, when you go to the fireside and decide to rest, you can decide who you want to have a wee chat with before you go to your bed. So it really does tell this big story, and it's very anime style. It's the kind of thing I'm not sure Ryan would be into it. But for somebody like me, I just loved it. I just loved the story and loved the characters and loved spending time with them. And your main character, which is often a problem in a JRPG, sometimes you don't like your main character that much, and in this case, your man here, Alphen, who I like to still call Iron Mask, he's not really your main character, because obviously in Tales games you can switch which character you're using and running around with a wee bit, but fundamentally he's your main guy, and he's a good guy, he's a good lad. It's a pleasure to be him and use his abilities and hear his opinion on the world, the wider world of the game. Now, one of the interesting things about this game is this CP system thing. You have an allocated number of points, and that allocated number of points, which you can see on the right side of the screen here, is the thing that powers your special abilities and particularly powers curing abilities and healing abilities in combat. So these CP points can become a bit of an issue at times. It's like a pool, right? It's like a pool of points that everybody shares. And so it can become a bit of an issue at times. Sometimes you go into battles and the CP points get completely diminished, and you realise you can't do any heals anymore, you can't do any cures anymore. And this is where the game gets really interesting as well, because in some battles, you're wanting to kind of hold back and using the CP, because you know that late stage in the battle things are going to get a wee bit nasty and you might need more healing. You really have to make some big decisions about which abilities you're going to use as you whittle down that pool. Obviously there's items you can take that will boost the pool again, but it's still, these items are quite expensive. They only raise it by a wee bit, so you have to do a lot of thinking about it. And also you use the CP points out in the field as well. So when you're running around, sometimes you come across people that need healed, or walls that need broken, people that need rescued, and you can use CP points to do that stuff in the field as well. So it's an interesting extra bit of game mechanic that gives you some really crunchy decisions through all the fights and all the running around. Obviously the game looks absolutely beautiful, right? I think it's like best in class stuff for a JRPG, But what I love about it is the fact that while they've made it this very lavish and beautiful looking game, it's still very focused. It's not like some big wide open world where you're wandering around for ages doing loads of side quests and stuff like that. It still feels very kind of focused and very written and scripted, and a lot of care and time has been put into telling its story and how you move through the world of the story. And I really think it's just an amazing game. I think it's an amazing game, and I think it's one of the JRPGs that I think almost everybody would like. Again, not sure Ryan would like it because it's kind of anime stylings and he's not into all that, right? But I mean, you can put all the characters in beachwear and all that, right? There's still all that stuff in there. But I just think anybody out there who's thinking, I want to play a cracking Japanese RPG that's big budget, full of interesting stuff to do, a great story, cracking characters, and amazing fights that always keep you interested, I think you should get a pre-order in. Get it pre-ordered because it came out about 3 weeks ago.
Problems, and so we've relaunched in the sense that we've shown to all our dealers and to all the software houses,
Sir Clive Sinclair.
we now have a very wide range of software.
I thought it was important that we would take a few moments in Consolevania to talk about the loss of Sir Clive.
He's back. He's back.
There? He is the man behind the Spectrum, which was an extremely significant computer for probably a lot of the audience of Consolevania, actually. The demographic we're talking about, the old guys, old women,
Fat guys.
overweight people.
I'd to think that if it hadn't been for Sir Clive, that we literally wouldn't be sitting right here.
Yep.
That's weird to think about that. Literally, the reality would be completely different if it wasn't for that stylish guy there.
When I was young, I was a Commodore 64 guy, but I knew there had to be somebody out there who made a computer for the tramps as well. And so Sir Clive really, I mean, we owe a lot to him.
They were literally just talking in that programme about how a computer was £5,000, so it wasn't the tramps that had, I mean, I never paid £5,000 for my Spectrum. I got it off my cousin for free.
Yeah, but that was not, this was one of his other failed enterprises they're talking about. But I don't want to focus on Sir Clive's failed enterprises. I want to focus on the man, his legacy, the myth. The creator of the Spectrum, Ryan.
Who was he?
You must have been through it this week.
Emotionally speaking, you mean? I mean, on top of the anxiety, this is the last thing I really needed. The grandfather of graphics is gone. I'm on, he's passing. Merlin, he's Merlin, a family member. He's like a member of the royal family.
Sometimes you just need to laugh when you're, I think the reason why it looks in bad taste that we're sitting here, we're talking about Sir Clive's passing and we're laughing and stuff, but I think the important thing to remember here is you're laughing because of the memories,
I think it's what he would have wanted as well.
You're laughing because...
Clive loved a laugh.
You're laughing because of the memories.
That stupid wee fucking bike he made. He loved a laugh.
He made the Sinclair C5, it was a failed enterprise. I don't want to focus on his failed enterprises, I want to focus on what he meant to, the wee ragamuffins See, it's just the memories. The ragamuffins in the schoolyard, angels with dirty faces, I would call them, Ryan. You were one of the angels with dirty faces. Why would you have a Spectrum?
Because it's all we could afford. It's all we could afford. Any idea how expensive the C64s were? I always thought that the rubber buttons were a good idea.
They used to say the rubber buttons were good because
buttons.
When you flung your Spectrum at the window, because it was shite, it would bounce back in. That was the chat at the time. But I want to focus on Sir Clive's legacy. There's a lot of people out there, I think, who design video games, computer games, who are now adults themselves, who would not be...
Quite old adults.
They wouldn't be who they were without the contribution of Sir Clive to the culture and he was a significant figure, I think, to the tragic, the young ones, you know.
The show, The Young Ones, with Ed Edmondson and Rick Mail.
The children who were of less, the children of the struggle. Ryan, speaking as one of them, what was it about the spectrum that made you say, this'll do?
You know, there was no... The Spectrum was, in many ways, a game changer, no pun intended. It was definitely good, wasn't it? It was good. What he did was good. He did good. The guy did good. He definitely did good, Sir Clive. He did good. He's a Sir, so he must have done something.
They're running out. We're losing our Sirs. Sir Clive. Sir Paul McCartney's a good age now. Sir Jimmy Savile is obviously gone. All the Sirs are running out, and this is us, we're coming to really I see this as the bottleneck. See, if you think of life or the universe or the culture as a computer, the bottleneck is the death of these men who, were...
Founded society and reality as we know it.
They created an empire. Sir Clive, I remember when I was a wee boy and I'd be in John Menzies. I used to call it John Menzies. It turned out, I found out in later years, he actually is supposed to be called John Mingus, which I couldn't believe. But John Menzies, when I was a wee guy, and I'd be buying my C64 games, and I would look at the Spectrum shelf, and you would see the game cases and stuff with the kind of dirty fingerprints on it and snotters rubbed on them. And I would think to myself, he did that. Sir Clive, and this is before he was a Sir, but I knew, even just instinctively, I think in my heart, that he was Sir Clive.
What they should do with Sir Clive's gravestone is put like a picture of Brad Pitt or something on it and put C64, graphics for C64.
Yeah.
And some very, very illegible small print under the picture. Because that's what he did to us.
Right. All comedy aside now. This is a guy who, Ryan, was a figure in our childhood, genuinely, when it comes to computer games and stuff like that. The rewriting of history that happens, where we all talk about like Miyamoto was the significant figure when we were kids playing games and stuff like that. People our generation, it was Sir Clive. Sir Clive would appear in games. Wouldn't he? He would appear in games and stuff like that. He was genuinely a significant figure, and I'm saying that even as somebody who did not have a Spectrum, in that first... I remember once I got a loan of a Spectrum off of my brother-in-law's brother, and he gave us a Lenia Spectrum for a weekend once.
Is that before you had a computer?
No, this was after I had a Commodore 64 and stuff, this is beyond that point. And I remember getting a Lonia Spectrum to just try out what's there on Spectrum, and I really, really thought it was terrible. But that's by the by.
It wasn't as bad as the Amstrads. They were definitely better than the Amstrads. Were they better than the Amstrads?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they were.
They were great.
I'm sure they were.
They were great. I just can't, once you've been through the wars, once you've been through the computer wars, and the playgrounds with the Commodore 64s and the Spectrums, you can't ever get back for them. I feel like I'm still there, so it's difficult for me to express, love and praise for the Spectrum, but I can definitely express love and praise for the man who made affordable computers that allowed normal working class people to sit in their bedrooms and make computer games.
Mm-hmm. Which most of us obviously didn't, when most of us just played the terrible video games that other people played, like Burger Time.
Like Burger Time. Speaking of Burger Time, why don't we go for a burger?
I'm vegetarian, but okay.
Okay, let's go.
One of the most hotly anticipated games of 2021... What? Shut up. Please shut up. Most hotly anticipated games of 2021, Magnificent Truffle Pigs.
What? A truffle pig?
a truffle pig? Good acting there from Rory from Doctor Who. That's who that guy is. That's who you play as in Truffle Pigs. That's the main. I say main character. There's no actual. This is the game, by the way. This is it. This is the gameplay. This is what you're doing. I say playing as a character, but there's no actual character models in this. You won't actually. Strap yourself in. You won't see any human beings in this game. There's a really piss poor animated van. Looks like it was a rusty screw. So the plot of the Magnificent Truffle Pigs is this game is just some fucking screws. Get it? And take a picture of it and send it to that lassie you're trying to shag, you fucking desperado. The plot of this game is that Lucy, who's a spoilt wee Tory bastard, there's that van I was talking about. Looks like it was animated and some fucking textures popping in, animated in some Soviet bloc state in 1983. Lucy found an earring when she was away. Well, I say earring, she says earring in her stupid accent. Sorry, I'm being really, really negative. She found an earring when she was away in a field, and because she's so stressed with her life right now, her life is that she's employed by the family business, the family outdoor activities business that her family owns. It's a game for fucking Tories. It goes on for a week as well. You need to spend a week with these fucking pricks. Sorry, I'm really sorry. I've never played a game that makes me so aggressively Scottish. But she's really stressed about her life, Lucy, right now, because her ex-boyfriend doesn't want to marry her anymore, but probably because she's a Tory cunt. Sorry. But she's really stressed at work and with the marriage and stuff, so she's decided to come back to some stupid fucking fields and look for the other earring that she found when she was away, and that's the actual plot of this stupid game. The twist is, and I'm going to tell you what the twist is, that the earring isn't in the field because what happened was shock horror. Her dad planted the earring in the field when she was away so that she could find it, so that she could be very excited and feel a sense of achievement. It was a £500, this is in the 80s, £500 diamond earring that her dad planted, and it's a game for Tories. It's a fucking game for Tories, and I fucking hate it. And what I hate more than the game is how everybody else has reacted to it, because I looked around the internet and everybody was going, it's lovely and relaxing and it's beautifully written and beautifully acted, and I don't agree with any of that. I think it's a load of fucking tedious shite. And I need to check myself and go, have I written anything of my own that gives me something to stand on to say that this is? I don't know that I have. So maybe you'll need to play it to try and back me up. I mean, maybe it would have been more relaxing the game if I hadn't been so annoyed by it. But my God, it does that. You know, the voice acting in it has got that sound to it. Where Rory for Doctor Who's come in for 15 minutes and they've one-taked everything. They went, thanks very much, Rory. I can't remember what the guy's name is. Thanks very much, Rory, that was brilliant. Now we can stick your name on the box and trick people into playing this shite. Oh, that's a cowbell. Oh my God. Do you want to hear a joke? Do you want to hear a joke that's in this, that they actually put in the game? Here's a joke they put in the game.
So, it turns to the other one and says, hey, what kind of music are you into? And the second wind turbine says, I'm a huge metal fan.
Trust me, it's the last place I want to be. Lucy was right. I fucked up, like, really badly. I ordered 15,000 water bottles. It should have been 1,500. Lucy and Dad
Listen to that acting, man. Listen to that acting.
Out.
Oh my God.
No, enough.
And that's the writing. That's the turmoil this lassie's in. She's ordered 15,000 water bottles instead of 1,500 water bottles for a family business. Oh my God. That's the drama. Look at how dramatic this is. This slight spin on the camera. That's about as exciting as this game gets. I hate it. I actually hate it. I actually hate this game. I hate the voices. I hate the writing. I hate having to find things in a Tory field. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate you. I hate you, game. I hate you truffle pig Tory prick. Sorry, I'm really sorry, I'm sorry. From a picnic or from a junkie? From a junkie? Oh, fucking... Why not both? Junkies love picnics too. You fucking... I'm gonna fucking bury you in this field, you Tory. Decided this month to make Mary an effort to cheer the fuck up. So let's go for a lovely walk while I talk to you about pessimism. Sorry, I'm really sorry guys, I'm really sorry. Pessimism used to feel to me like some useful tool that could be wielded to my advantage. Do you know what I mean? Quite often an easy shortcut to a funny outcome. Funny takes. But these days, I'm genuinely fucking terrified of pessimism. I think it actually might have the power to eat you from the inside. Psychonauts 2 came out recently and I moped my way through some of it, whining about the roughness of the character designs, whining about the hefty amount of naff dialogue and the blandness of the controls. There definitely is enough about the game that I find tedious, but also at the same time, judging by what everybody else thought about the game, I just need to shut the fuck up. 16 years ago, I talked really enthusiastically about the original Psychonauts on Video Guiding episode 1.2. Please don't watch that review, it's pretty shite. The first series of Video Guiding episodes were only 10 minutes long and me and Rob were talking at ridiculous speed to try and cram as much in as possible. I remember thinking Psychonauts was refreshingly original at the time. It was a very welcome change. Psychonauts 2 doesn't have that same type of impact because it's basically an improved version of the first game, so you're more familiar with themes and style. But I know it is still really good. It's visually amazing. It's a really good game. I still wasn't fussed with it though, but I need to do something about that, to be honest. I need to check my pessimism. Watched that Sony showcase the other week as well, and they showed loads of pretty impressive stuff. And do you know what my reaction was to all that pretty impressive stuff? My reaction was, there's quite a lot of shooting games and remakes. I need to do something about that because I think my pessimism is poisoning me. Having said that, what the fuck is the deal with that Gran Turismo franchise? That trailer was menu selection footage and boring cars. A racing game should be daft physics that make no sense but is thrilling to play. You give me that and I'll no care if the graphics are falling apart. They two words, driving simulator. I feel like I'm browsing furniture in IKEA when I'm looking at that Gran Turismo footage. I'm sure it'll be really good, but what do you think? Because I need to check my pessimisms. 16, I hate saying this, 16 years ago when I was playing Psychonauts 1, I'm pretty certain I wasn't considering these kinds of thoughts. They were much simpler times, in a way. Do you have to keep an eye on your pessimism? Recently I've been thinking about it like it's a thing that you have to look past. It does keep coming up, it will keep coming up, but there's a habit of letting that happen and no letting it pull you down. I can look back 16 years easy enough. There it's there. Look at the state of me, never shaved, never got a haircut. He was on the telly. What was he thinking? But I can't look forward 16 years. All we can do is look past the pessimisms and try and sneak in some hopes of what it's going to be like. Lighten Up, Knights of the Old Republic remake, one of my favourite games, and they showed zero game footage for it. Zero! Look past it, Ryan. I'm sure it's going to be really good. What do you think? I'm sure it'll be good. 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 What do you think?
You will have probably heard by now, Rab here, that I'm going to be the host of the new Games Master that's coming on E4 and on YouTube and all of that. I've got no idea what it will be like, to be honest. As I record this just now, it's a few days away for the studio shoot, and I don't even really know in full who all the challenges are going to be and stuff like that, so I'm going to be walking in there just to see what it's like and just have a laugh. And I'll try and grab some stuff for behind the scenes and stuff for the next episode of Consolevania. That's right, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but for my special audience out there, I will of course try and grab some stuff there from inside Games Master as I tried to destroy it from the inside. Only kidding. Here's Dominic Diamond. He was the best, wasn't he?
Where have you been? But my, how tall you getting? You're 4 weeks late, but we've all taken turns keeping this slot warm for your arrival. So sit yourself down, have a mug of chamomile, get out your joystick and give it a loving caress, because that's what we'll be doing here for the next half hour.
Oh, fuck. This is a serious message to everybody watching my update right now. Peace and love, peace and love. I want to tell you, please, after the 20th of October, do not send fan mail to any address that you have. Nothing will be signed after the 20th of October. If that has a date on the envelope, it's going to be tossed. I'm warning you with peace and love, but I have too much to do. So no more fan mail. Thank you, and no objects to be signed. Nothing. Anyway, peace and love, peace and love.
That's what it's all about.